Okay, guys, so spending money on your Substack. Oof. Where do I start with all of this? So I guess I'll start a little bit with my background in the arts and cultural sector. So I have been the queen of stretching a budget to make it work, learning how to do things myself, being in the driving seat of all of the marketing strategy, all of the design strategy, trying to find the most budget conscious way to do things. Like I've been in that place. I've also been in a place where I've had really healthy budgets to spend on things, time to work with people. Both are possible. So what I'd like you to do is to set a budget for your Substack for the next, I don't know, 2 years. Should we do two? You can do 3 or 5 if it's more comfortable for you. But your dream budget, what you would like to do, what you would like to spend money on for your Substack. So that could be an editor. It could be an illustrator. It could be to get some professional photography done. It's up to you. Your budget is going to look different to my budget. Your budget is going to be part of this kind of aspiration of what you want your digital magazine on Substack to be and look like. Your budget could be zero. You could just be like, I've got all of these skills, I'm going to do it all myself. Or your budget could be, I'm going to work with a professional designer, I'm going to work with a Substack VA, I'm going to work with a professional editor, I'm going to commission illustrators every single time I post. It just depends. It depends where you're at and what your vision is for your Substack. There's nothing wrong with a bit of DIY, it takes time though. So you need to be really conscious about your zone of genius and what you want to come to Substack to do. If you feel that you're best suited to writing, and you haven't got time to faff around on Canva, then you might want to buy some illustrations, and you can buy illustrations relatively cheaply. You could use the ones in Canva. There's ways with all of it. You might have a series of about 10 different illustrations that you plug into your Substack to kind of enhance that brand identity. Let's have a look at some Substacks that are doing a little bit of this. I wanted to just pop on in and just see if there's anything that chimes for you. So if we search for Emma Gannon to start with, which I often use Emma's Substack as an example because she has an illustrator that she works with for every post. So that might be massively aspirational to you, but it is worth thinking about that this is a professional person that takes Emma's words and illustrates a portion of them into something. So how I make 6 figures on Substack. So this is what's gone in for that one. So it's giving some sort of feel before we even start. We've got our little avatar here that she's had professionally illustrated. We've got this illustration of someone that could be Emma. It's got our brand colors in it, which is the yellow and the pink. And I think blue might be in there as well in our brand. I'm not 100% sure. And then this one here. So this is this week's post, which I listened to in the car, and she's gone, here's the post or whatever, or I'm going to be writing a post about this, and the illustrator's come up with something there. So she quoted who the illustrator was in a recent note, I think it was, when she put a new book out, but for ages I always wondered who it was. Because I'm from the cultural sector, I always credit artists. I would never put up an illustration or a piece of art without crediting the source. So that could be something I found on Instagram. It could just be from Canva, but I like to credit process. I like to credit the source. So I would say it's just beautiful practice if you can do that. When I work with illustrators, they'll often provide me with illustrations and they're not signed. And I go back to them and say, please, can you sign it? Like, I want their signature on there. Like, for me, that feels really authentic. I want to highlight that they are the illustrator, that they are the owner of that artwork, of that aesthetic. So, yeah, so that's Emma's. And it all works. It all works. It's in our brand colors, it's all happening. She's got this for the Slow Sunday Scroll. So that's Emma, an illustration of Emma, the name of our newsletter on the laptop, and then the words, the Slow Sunday Scroll. She's up to like 60 odd of them now. So that we find them all in here. Look, yeah. So look, it's the same image every time, and she just changes the number. So I think really, really interesting to have a think about that. Let me show you my friend Lauren. Lauren's on the course as well. I actually invited Lauren to be on the course because she's done some work for me, and I wanted to gift her a space on the course, just so you guys know the context there. Okay, it's coming up now. Right, so on Lauren's here, I know Lauren pays for professional photography, and I know that she also uses her own photography, and then she's got an aesthetic. She's a designer, so she's got an aesthetic here as well. So as we're scrolling through our publication, we'll see professional photos of Lauren. The aesthetic, the filter that she puts on is the same filter for everything. So it all blends in as one cohesive look and feel, which I think is, again, is very, very strong. Now, you don't have to tie yourself up in knots about this. If you look at Creatively Conscious, I'm not a professional photographer. I've got a keen eye for it, but I'm not. But I use the same filter in my photo filters for everything. So it's kind of like a pop of color and it's bright. And I usually try and have some pink or yellow in the photo if I'm going to use it for my brand, my Substack, my website. So for me, that just works. It just means that it ties in with my brand, it ties in with my colors. If there's anything sparkly or gold, that'll go in. So you can see here when I was wearing a sparkly dress. Now, even though this isn't sparkle on Substack, the sparkle is part of me and my brand, and it's really important for me to get that across. So anything like that, I would opt to choose. Sometimes it's just something creative like this. So this is an unsplash photo just for time. I didn't have time to take one of my watercolors, so that's what went on. But it all ties in, it all works. Even this one, I think, will have had some, yeah, so pink and gold in there on my shoes. So it looks subtle, you wouldn't necessarily notice it unless I pulled it out to show you. But anything with pink, gold, anything with nature, this is what I'm bringing through in the aesthetic of this publication. And you can do that without spending a ton of money on professional photos or illustrations. That is totally available to you. If you do want to work with someone on your Substack, you can go here to Substack SOS. So SOS for help, please help me with my Substack. So what I did was I did a call out in notes and I said, is anyone offering Substack adjacent support? So design, styling, copywriting, editing, VA, press support, audio edits. And then people responded to that. And then I listed it in alphabetical order. So if you need support with audio, branding, book editing, business book coaching, content strategy, content planning, copywriting, editing, graphic design, illustration, mentoring, podcast support, public relations, proofreading, styling, VA support, video creation and editing, voice. It's all there. It's all there. You can go and chat with these people. These are all on Substack. Drop them a DM, tell them what you need, tell them what you think you need if you don't know what you need, and they will sort you out. With the illustration, and I will have to have a little search for this. So we did, myself and a guy called Adam Ming did, oh, Substack's just sort of bothering me a bit today. We did an illustration get together. Here we go. So I'm going to put the link to this in the course. So we did this class where we brought writers and illustrators together and we had a big old conversation about how it could work in an affordable way for writers to commission and publish illustrators' work, and illustrators suggested to us how it might work. So on here, there's a little bit of a crib sheet, a little bit of a how-to to work through how you might do that. And then here are the people that attended and shared their Substacks. And we listed some illustrators and then we opened up a chat thread. Now, it's not functional anymore because it was such a long time ago. However, it is a starting point for looking for an illustrator. You could also, because there's new people coming all the time, you could also put a shout out on notes and see. If you go to an illustrator's website, sometimes they have a library of images. So I bought one, and I'll not remember the name of the person, but I bought one. Maybe she's on here. And I've used it multiple times. Gillian actually lets you download some of her illustrations for free as long as you credit her. So that's a nice one to know about. Yeah, I'll not know who it is. But you can do that. And I think it was like, maybe it was £8 for the illustration or something. So not as expensive as it would be to commission an illustration. So for example, I've paid anywhere between £80 and £500 for illustrations for projects, actually into the thousands of pounds when I did my journal. Some illustrators can charge by the day, some can charge per illustration, some charge usage rights. So if you say it's for a community project, that will be a different price to if you say, I want to use it on merchandise and sell merchandise. You can also negotiate the time, the licensing time. So if you want a lifetime license, that might be more expensive than just licensing it for a year. However, with Substack, we don't know how long things are going to be up. So I always try and sort of negotiate lifetime licenses for things. Like I said, the credit is a good bargaining chip with illustrators. You know, if you're happy to credit them, great. You know, see if you can come to some sort of arrangement. Everything within the arts and cultural sector is open for negotiation, usually because we don't have standard in the UK, we don't have a standard set of rates. So we're all trying to make it up as we go along constantly in line with other people's budgets. So people might have a corporate sector rate, they might have a creative business, a small business, an individual artist, writer rate. You can just ask and they'll just tell you about that. So yeah, so I'll put that in and then you've got that. I think that there's so much that you can think about with this, and there's so much that you can be hard on yourself about as well. And I think for now, you know, no matter where you are on your Substack journey, you just want a folder that is my Substack aesthetic, called something like that, and then put things in there. So this is the illustration I mentioned that I bought. I can't remember how much it was. It wasn't much though. I'm sure it was under £20. And then I've used that quite a few times. This is a photo I took years ago that matches with my brand colours. This is something from Unsplash. This is something from Unsplash. You know, just type in pink headphones. And then these are some photos that other people have taken of me very kindly, which is lovely. There are so many ways with it. There are so many ways to elevate the look and feel and to blend the Canva graphics with the photography, with the illustration, or unify the whole thing. You know, you can decide. So you know, you can balance it, you can think about it. You know, we've had years of trying to kind of curate our Instagram grid so it's balanced. You don't have to do that so much here, but if it feels fun to you, you can do it. So I hope that's given you some food for thought. If you do have thoughts on that budget and what you should and shouldn't write, I would just say be as expansive as possible in column A, and then do yourself a column B and sort of work out what you can afford or what you want to pay for from the this, you know, from this little bit of time. You know, how do you want to feel like, okay, it's done, it's ready, it's finished, like I'm happy to share it with the world? Because you'd be amazed how blocked we can be when we feel like our Substack isn't ready. So one of my friends was a Substack featured publication, actually a couple of people, and they both said the same thing. I didn't feel ready, I didn't expect that to happen. Anything can happen anytime. So we're getting our Substacks just ready to be shared. Nothing in our way, can go anywhere, all over the internet. Someone could find it and share it to Facebook, LinkedIn. I could share it in an email. You could have 100 subscribers land overnight. We want to feel safe within our publication, and to feel safe, we need to feel proud. It's as simple as that. So let me know how you go with that exercise. Let me know if you've got any questions. I'll put that illustration link in. I do need to do some more work on trying to call new illustrators in because it was ages ago, but it should give you some food for thought for now anyway. Okay, guys, take care.